Welcome back to LatiNation. Now, I'm sure a lot of you out there have dreams of becoming a musician, but do any of you potential rock stars or DJ producers ever consider classical music? Well, if you do, there's one thing every aspiring orchestra musician must know. It's work, hard work, and a lot of practice with some of the most timeless instruments and learning the most timeless music. So we caught up with a violin and cello player on the Los Angeles Chamber Orchestra to find out more about what it takes to get off on the right note in the world of orchestras. Check this out.
Sessions is presented by McDonald's.
My name is Joanna. I am a cellist. I am a member of Los Angeles Chamber Orchestra, as well as a studio musician here in Los Angeles. And I also have a Latin Grammy-nominated group called Cuatro.
I'm Josefina Arriara, and I'm a violinist. I play principal second in the LA Chamber Orchestra.
The Chamber Orchestra only has 42 personnel, including the librarian.
So here everybody's putting out their full talent, and a lot of times you're featured, so you have to really play and keep your practicing up.
But chamber music is really, it's a smaller venue. It's usually a smaller orchestra, more intimate setting.
I started violin when I was 8, and my father is a scientist, and he loves classical music. So I went to public school, and they offered violin lessons, and I came home and said, I want to play violin. My dad was over the moon.
The first thing my dad said to my mom was, "Did you see her hands? She's going to be a cellist." So I was done.
I ended up being with a small group of kids, but they were all really serious. And again, it's one of those things, I don't know, everybody's read the Malcolm Gladwell books that say 10,000 hours. It does take 10,000 hours. I mean, it takes a lot of tenacity and discipline, and you really have to want to do it to get to a high level.
Both of my parents are musicians. My mom and dad met in Guatemala, and then they both won jobs in Toluca, Mexico. And they played there for years. That's where I was born and my sister was born. So yes, I've been surrounded by music. I used to go to the rehearsals with my parents and sit in the aisle, like at the bottom of this aisle, in a big bean bag. And at concerts, you could always find me in the bean bag there in the aisle. And then upon moving to the States, I definitely was a child of the radio pop culture, and so that's where really I got into a lot of R&B and hip hop. And my dad also really likes funk. He used to have a band when he was younger, also as a drummer, but he's a violist, and my mom is an oboist. So I've been surrounded by music my entire life. It's the oxygen that I breathe. So people say that the cello is the instrument that's closest to the human voice. And higher like violins, you just really have to have a tolerance for that high pitch and that. And violinists in general are pretty high strung also, because they have to play all these high notes all the time and like really difficult passages. And bass players are like super chill.
I like the sound. I mean, some people object to the high sound. I think it's a virtuosic instrument, but I like it. It appeals to perhaps my high-strung personality, which Giovanna would immediately point to.
So, within the orchestra, and the bigger the instrument is, the more chill the person will be. It's just beautiful about really being able to understand classical music. I think that's the sad part about maybe our society today and our younger culture, is that they can't understand it. And classical music is a little bit more intellectual in the sense that you have to listen to it a few times to really get it. You can't just show up and be like, whoa, that rocked, because it's deep.
So there's times when you're playing and you're in the moment and you're anticipating what's coming, and then there's other times when you're playing and you're like, oh my God, I have to remember to do that. So you have to, but you can't ever transmit that to the audience. It's like any job, it's a job to a certain extent, and then you have to remember it's art, and so you elevate yourself. And some of it is physical sensation, like you spent so many years playing that your muscles know what to do, whether your head is there or not. But obviously the most elevated moments are when you're there, you're present, and the magic happens, and when it happens, you feel, oh wow, okay, this is it.